Welcome. We are on day one of the Get It Done Challenge, and this is our very first live stream of the day. So I see that some of you are watching, but I don't know if you just randomly popped in here or if you're actually part of the challenge. So leave a comment and let me know. One, can you hear me? This is a new setup for me. And two, you can let me know where you're listening from, watching from, and we'll get today started. You did your brain dump today, assuming that you actually did the challenge. If you are watching and you don't know who I am or what I'm doing in this live video, oh, thank you, Alice. Hi, Megan. Just know that we are on the Get It Done Challenge. So this is, I think, the fifth time we have done this. And it is so much fun. We get so much done. We clear things out. We get to be in community. So if you're not familiar with what that is, go check it out at getitdonechallenge.com. And that will tell you everything we're doing this week. But it includes short daily podcasts, challenges to go do something that you're challenged to do, as well as these live streams every afternoon and the opportunity to win prizes. Oh, you're with your 5-year-old today. I have to say, I'm so proud of all of you for getting in your prizes, your entries, your submissions. Hi, Laura. Hi, Lynn. Martha, she just shared on Instagram that her biggest accomplishment today is not the brain dump challenge, but trying to learn Instagram. And I have several of you who are like, what do you have me doing on Instagram? Because it's not your platform of choice. So I'm glad that I am broadening your horizons and bringing you over to my favorite platform. I do love YouTube, but Instagram is where I really like to hang out. Oh, I called you Alice. It's Sean. Hi, Sean. You've told me that before, actually, and I totally forgot. Oh, you did the challenge before. You think you did the challenge before. I would think if you think you did it, you probably did it. Okay, so I would love to hear from you. Tell me what is going on with the brain dump exercise for you. Does it feel completely overwhelming? Are you making good progress? Does it feel like you kind of already had an ongoing brain dump? And your daughter's teaching you Instagram. Look, we're not too old to learn new tricks, and it's really nice to have young people around to teach us all of our technology needs. I don't really have young children around, which is maybe why I just have to figure it out on my own. Okay, so tell me about the brain dump. How is it going today? Someone shared, I don't remember who, it might have been Sally on Instagram, that she kind of already had a task management system, but she had like 500 tasks in that system, and she decided to just delete it and start fresh. And that in and of itself just kind of felt refreshing. Megan, every time I try to come up with tasks, my brain goes blank. Oh my gosh, let me tell you what. Okay, so I do stand-up comedy, love stand-up comedy. Improv, I am not a fan of. I'm not really good at, because I love to sing. But every time I get like in any kind of improv class and they're like, and now sing a song, I'm like, my mind freezes. I'm like, I literally don't know any songs. I don't know any words to any songs. It's like Mary Had a Little Lamb is all I know. So that's really interesting, Megan. Okay, so you may not be able to just force your brain dump. I do get the Orange Theory thing, though. If you don't have your phone or a way to take notes, that's really annoying and obnoxious. But just the more you can add to that list, the better. Another way to get in front of that potentially is to start to brainstorm categories, if you can do that. So maybe it has something to do with the kids. Maybe it has to do with your home. Maybe it has to do with your husband. Maybe it has to do with your vacations. Maybe it has to do with the holidays. Maybe it has to do with community or speaking. Like, I would just come up with as many categories as possible. And then you might be able to be like, oh yeah, I got to do this, 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 and this. Sean, it's feeling a little bit daunting. Yes. Laura, overwhelmed. Yeah, that's the thing. It just keeps flowing out. This is part of the thing, though. We we think that we're on top of it and we don't actually want to look at it. But because that is in our minds, even if we're trying to push it down or ignore it or deal with it later, if we don't ever fully acknowledge it and get it down, it totally just stays in our heads because our brains are really, really smart. And especially for you all, I know you're all a bunch of smart women. What happens is it's like constantly running in the background, just trying to like help keep just remember everything. So getting it out is a big deal. And you may not be able to get everything you may not be able to get everything down today, but just starting that process and learning to get in that habit can be really helpful. Um, Lynn, it's scattered. Yeah, it's scattered. It should be scattered because I don't know about you, but we all have a million different things. And sometimes we try to compartmentalize our lives, but that's really hard to do. I've never been good at it, but I feel like since COVID, when people were working from home and whatever else, I think that's become even more the case where people have a really hard time compartmentalizing because it all just kind of blends and flows together. So your brain, the organizational part, may not like that it is scattered. The good news is, starting tomorrow, we're going to do a little bit, not a ton, of organization with it. If you've done the challenge before and you think you did, each day we'll take one task and just continue to like work through it. And then I've got a bonus for next week where I'll help you even more with it. So totally fine for it to be scattered. It does not have to be organized. South Dakota in the house. Brenda, not enough time yet today due to too many calls. Okay. Look, I know Brenda's a lawyer. So yeah, if you're in a profession where the phone calls just keep coming in, it depends on, of course, is it an emergency and or just how you've set up the way that you work and your boundaries, and every firm is different. Every attorney is different. There might be tips on how to not take calls and to actually carve it out. But you may have something else going on. So if you want tips on that, let me know, Brenda. Otherwise, I hear you. Find some time, go hide out, get your brain dump in. Laura. Yeah, but that's okay, right? Like, so you're wanting to focus on this, but as you're thinking of new stuff, you can still write it down. I don't think that would be I don't think that's going to totally take you out. And this time here is really to help support you. So if you want to keep just letting it flow, do that. Okay, good. I'm glad you like that, the categories, Megan. I hope that helps you. Okay, so clearly there's a delay because, Laura, you're asking what categories would I use, and I think I shared them. If you're still confused on that, let me know. Oh, good. You already had a brain dump. Oh, Katie. Okay. So we have Katie and we have Sean because you are on your children's accounts. All good. All good. I love it. Yes, if you already have a brain dump, just make sure that you're not forgetting anything. And if you've already got it down, wonderful. You're going to be ready for tomorrow. Right. That's the thing. The list is really, truly ginormous. And I personally do this regularly. I kind of have it implemented in my daily journal. So when I journal every single morning, I also give myself permission to write down everything that I've got to get done that day, even though it's already in my planner, even though I already have a plan for it, because a lot of my anxiety and just the way that like my brain, my stress, the way I work is it wants that repeat of, but what are we doing today? But what are we doing today? And then sometimes if I have more things coming up, I try to actually use it within my planning system. But in that morning journal time, I just let myself write. And if anything comes up related to a to-do that I'm like, I don't know if it's on that list or not, or anything, right? Like I just write it down and I kind of underline it so that I'll know it's a to-do, because I don't go back and read my journals. But at the end of that morning before, because I do that first, when I then come into the office, if I have underlines, I bring it in and actually make sure that it's part of my planning system. And a lot of times it already is, but that just means that my brain is telling me that whether it's conscious or subconscious, I'm worried about it. I'm worried that I'm going to forget it. And giving myself that permission to journal every morning, to just get these things down, it allows me to know, no, I am thinking about it. And then generally my brain will like let it go. But in the morning, I really do try to process in that way, because that's just the way I think that a lot of us who have a lot going on and we're high achievers, I know I said that like when we do the brain dump, it gives our brains permission to let it go. Sometimes though, if you have an overactive brain, you have to give it permission over and over and over again. It's like a puppy or a child. So you just have to work with it as opposed to trying to ignore it or resist it or work against it, because it is going to win every single time. It's going to be like the screaming child, or, the dog that, is trying to distract you, pee in the floor, whatever. You really just have to train it as opposed to letting it kind of like take over and ruin your day, right? Okay. I'm just checking up on the chat. It said it was disconnected, but now I think I'm reconnected. Sean, yeah, writing on a notepad in the morning. So it's really whatever works for you, but and the thing is, you probably actually already have some systems. So I don't know how you all do your groceries, whether you're using an app, maybe you're having things delivered. My husband and I have a Post-it note that sits above our trash can, just the way that that particular cabinet works. And anytime we realize we're out of something, we just write it down. And whoever's going to go to the grocery next or whatever, we're just supposed to pick it up and look at it, or take it with us. It's little things like that, but just really documenting it, getting it down. And I get that the brain dump that we have done today, that in and of itself is not like doable long term. Like that's not the planning system in and of itself. We'll continue to work with it, but just know that I often will do this full exercise. Sometimes quarterly. I'll start to know when I'm getting overwhelmed. And a lot of times your projects move, your goals move as things are starting to shift, or it's a new season, the kids are in school, then they're not out of school. It's just a good time to start over. And this is a great way to do that, even outside of your task management system, outside of your planning system. Okay. Anyone have any questions that they have for me today that I can help you with? I'm also going to announce the pre-challenge winner. I don't see her on here yet, but we'll see if she joins. By the way, some of you are like, wait, I've already been commenting and you didn't say me. So yeah, if you've already commented, I see several of you on here who got your submissions in. It was not you today, but you're still in the running for the grand prize. So you just got to keep it up. Get it in every single day. All right. So while we're waiting, if you've got any questions, if you need tips, if you need tricks, anything you want to share, feel free to put that in there. As a reminder, you don't have to participate to get the prizes. You could just do the podcasts and the challenges, and you're going to get the reward of actually doing the work. But we do have prizes. And in the past, all of the past Get It Done challenges, the prizes were planners or tickets to our end of year. And back then I was just working with lawyers. So it was the Life and Law Planner and Life and Law Live. And so I don't have the planner anymore, which I miss terribly. But we had to end it because of the tariffs and all the other stuff, and with the threats of tariffs going even higher, y'all aren't going to want to spend the money that it would cost to actually get that produced. But that's neither here nor there. This time, the live event, instead of it being in person, it's going to be virtual. And I've mixed it up a little bit in that the first day, December 5th, is going to be just personal and professional goals. And then December 6th is business goals. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a service-based professional that has to generate your own business, then you would want both days. So the prize for the pre-challenge and then each and every day, it is a ticket, a regular ticket for December 5, or you can take the value of that and apply it towards the business bundle ticket if you want it. So I will go ahead and share who today's winner is for the pre-challenge. It's not today's winner, it's the pre-challenge winner. And that is, actually, I want to make sure I say this right. Let me check my Voxer from Justin. It is Erica Connolly. Erica Connolly. Congratulations, Erica Connolly. You won the pre-challenge ticket. So you either get to choose regular ticket or to get that amount applied to the business bundle ticket. Okay, let me see. Y'all have got some stuff going on now. Sean, she learned how to be public. I know, it's a whole thing, right? Okay, yes, Lynn, you get bogged down in making and organizing the list, which keeps you from moving forward. So I have a good friend. I'm not going to name her name because she might join in at some point. She signed up for this. She too will, she's really good at writing lists. She has all the lists, but what she struggles with is actually prioritizing and then taking action. And so that list just gets longer and longer. So the good news is that today is the only day we're doing the list. We are going to move you through more exercises to actually move in. Tomorrow, we're going to do an organizing piece that might help you. And then the rest of the week, it will actually be how to take action on certain things. And then the bonus episode that I'm going to do for you next Tuesday, that will share an ongoing system, the way that I do it, that will potentially help you stay in a place of action and not just in making the list and organizing the list. Also, and I'm not saying that this is your issue, but sometimes, I mean, I do this. Like legit, I will be the first to raise my hand and admit that sometimes I use list making and planning as a way to procrastinate and avoid doing the actual things on those lists. So it makes me feel productive, even though it's actually not moving the ball forward. I have definitely been known to do that before, so I will be the first to admit it. But you also can't move forward if you don't truly have a good system. Well, you can move forward, but you might not be doing things that truly move the ball forward. And then like your biggest priorities are kind of slipping through the cracks because of it. So, Brenda, you are going to organize it, but not yet. Not yet. We will do that tomorrow. Look, I love that you're like, I want to think ahead. I want to know what we're doing tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday so that I can be efficient with the whole process. I suspect that the way that we're going to do the organizing tomorrow is not the way that you are doing your organizing now. We'll see. You might be surprised. You might be surprised. You can just keep playing around with it though. One of the reasons why we don't want to be super organized to begin with is because sometimes as we go to like think through the process, we have bias confirmation based on like what the category is or other things like that. But it's okay for it to be organized. No problem. Just you'll keep going through the exercises. And if something comes up where you've got questions or you're confused, you can let me know. Happy to help you out on that. And you might find, I think I even shared in one of the episodes that some people might be like, well, why didn't you tell me that on the front end? It'll be good for you to know moving forward. We all work differently. We all think differently. So even though one thing makes perfect sense to another person or like the order or the logic, it doesn't to another. So that's why I try to keep it a little bit open and flexible. And I think that your mind is more likely to think outside the box and look for creative solutions when it's not organized perfectly or like the way you normally would do it, if that makes sense. Lynn, she does not. She was like, I do not know what you mean. I love it. I love it. Yay, Angie, you did it. You did it. Make a list. That was all you had to do. You're like, I can nail a list. Isabel, yeah, do the list, prioritize, and then do what's easy. Hey, I'm a fan of doing what's easy. Go for what's easy. That's probably not what's going to happen the rest of this week, but but if that works right now, go for it. Go for it. Okay. Any other questions? We have 30 minutes allotted, but we won't keep the whole time. I'm all about efficiency. We've all worked for those people or attended things, right, where it's like people think the meeting has to last as long as it was scheduled. And it's like, just give us our time back. We got stuff to do. So if you have any more questions, if there's any tips that you would like, I'm happy to share. Otherwise, I'll give you your time back. I'll go let you work on your brain dump or go do something else or just go relax. Enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you have going on. I'm so excited that you are all participating again. The last time we did a Get It Done challenge was 2020. That was over 4 years ago. And yet, I know so many of you, and so many of you did it back then. So you don't know how much joy it brings me to see your faces and your names again, and for us to all be doing this together again. It is just so much fun. So much fun. I absolutely adore and love this community. All right. I'm going to give it a moment because I know there's a little bit of a delay, but I'm going to give you all a moment to ask questions. Otherwise, I'm going to release you back into the wild. Okay, I think that's it. If anything else comes in, you can still type it in the chat and I'll try to come back and answer your question that way. But thank you so much for joining me. Make sure that you get your entries in. I think you only have like 1 more hour. So the way that the prizes work so that we can go ahead and draw them and we're not having to wait. In years past, you know, we always had to wait. It ended up being like 2 days later because by the time we drew, anyway. So 4:59 p.m. Central Standard Time. So that's like an hour and 7 minutes. That is the cutoff for today's entries. So make sure that you get your prize entry in so that maybe you can win tomorrow. And for all of you that did the pre-challenge, make sure you keep it up so that you can potentially win that grand prize, which is you get to choose between the regular ticket and business bundle ticket for Plain and Extravaganza. And you get a credit of $3,497 for a 2025 program if you want it. You don't have to spend it. That's it. All right. You guys have a wonderful day. You've done a fabulous job, and I will see you back here tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Bye.